Welcome to my channel. This is lesson 6, Intro to UV Sets. This lesson will focus on how to import pictures saved in your computer into an object. So let's say you want a sticker or a label on something. How do we import a picture into Autodesk Maya? And that is what we'll be focusing on. And in order to do that, you need to learn how to do UV sets. Now let's start with lesson 6. Now what we'll be doing is learning how to create UV sets, or in simple terms, I want to create a label for this wine bottle, and I've already picked out a picture. What you want to do first is pick out anything you like, any PNG or JPEG works. Find a picture that you want displayed. This is what essentially I want displayed here. So what you have to do is first create the paper. Now the best way to do that is, let's delete this for now. And you can see that the wine bottle is black. Now another way that we can see the shapes and colors in a different way, in the default colors, instead of it having black, I'm not sure where the curve is or anything around the dimensions of the bottle. It's very vague. So if I want to see the bottle and the glass bottle that's around here, see, it was very hard to find. There are different views in your perspectives. Now these are your options for multiple different settings of lighting. Now, right now, it is showing smooth shade all with the colors and a little bit of lighting. Now, if you see this says use all lights. This says textured. Textured will basically show the same thing. It is what the colors and textures are as of this moment. So if we take this off and actually click this, use default material, it basically shows our original default material that we first started out with. Now don't worry, everything is still the same. So if you still render, oh, I deleted the, yep. So if you see, the textures are still there. The only difference is that we are seeing it with default materials. So now it's easier to see. Let's create the paper. Now the easiest way to create the paper is, instead of creating a separate shape, we'll duplicate this because we want the same curve. Now press W. We'll press W to use the move tool, and we'll do Control D, and that duplicates the object. There you go. It duplicates the object. You can see wine bottle number 2. It's moved out to the side. Now we won't want only a tag here with the same circular shape. So we don't need any of the extras. We just need essentially this part. So let's go ahead, go to face, and let's actually go to our side view and delete. Now an easy way to do this is actually select the entire bottle and deselect by holding Shift and dragging your left mouse. There you go. You've selected everything except for this. Press delete. There you go. Now let's make the tag a bit smaller. There you go. Now you can see it's the same exact length, so it's pretty much perfect. So once you have this over the shape, you want to make it a tiny bit bigger. Now a good way to do this, select our tag and just ever so slightly increase it. That's it. Now you can barely see it, but if you click here, that's the first thing. Let's make the tag a bit smaller. Around there should be good. Let's actually add wireframe unshaded so we can actually see the details of the ball. Now let's move this a little higher up. I think that should be good. Now we only want just a tag from here to around here, so we don't need a whole circular shape. So let's actually use the face, and we will want it around here and here. Now the selected from here to here, we want the opposite actually. Here, let's make a guy first to here. These are the two start and ends, and an easy way to select all is just hold your tab button, hover over your faces, and just click, hold, and drag. Once you let go, just alt drag, and then go back to your, hold your tab again, and select it. So do the same thing. There you go. And just delete. Now you have just this portion. Go back to our object mode. Now, UV sets are essentially using your images. So first we need to create a new material. Let's hold your right click, assign favorite material like we did, AI standard surface. Now it's already created a standard surface right here. New standard surface, as you can see, if we change the color, since we've turned off the textures, texture view, textured, and let go of the default, you can see the colors change. Now for now, we'll use this. So UV sets, how you apply the image to the material, is once you have the material, you go to your color and click these 4 squares. Click, and this info will pop up, and the first thing that you see is these options, and all you have to do is click on the file. Then this menu will pop up, and all you have to do is go under image name, click on the folder, and find your picture. I have it here. Have it here. Now just click open. There you go. An image has just been applied to the texture. Now, all we have to do is fix this texture because it wraps around the image and the sizes are very wrong. I'm pretty sure it's very zoomed in. What you can do now is use UV settings. How you do that is go to your workspace, and there's a window just for UV editing. You want to click that. Now there's nothing here, but when you click, there you go. So you have this object, and it essentially unwraps your whatever shape you have and makes it flat here. And this image overlaying the shape is the only thing that's being shown. As you can see, kind of like wings here. These are the leaves, essentially. Now how to fix that is you go to modify, and you go to layout. And that essentially fixes your shape. Instead of 2 lines, it creates 1 line. So now it's a tiny bit bigger. You can see the VIN right here, but it's still big. So what you do is hold right click, just like how you select your faces and UVs and your other settings like vertex. You hold right and go to UV shell. Now select both of these, and if you move this, you can see that these the squares overlaying the image is shown on the left side. So if I go right to left, it shows that. Now we have to essentially make this square into this big, and how you do that is the same as scaling, moving. You press quick R in order to move it, scale it, and just increase the scales. Select both. Just expand. Make sure it's overlaying this picture. Let's move this. Here, we need to make this bigger. We need to change the positions. This is on the right, this is on the left. There you go. Let's make this a tiny bit bigger. And there you go. There you have your image, and your UV editing is done. Just go to your object mode, make sure that everything is right. There you go. Now let's render it and see how it looks. Let's go back to general. Let's save this first. It's always better to save before you render, because rendering consumes a lot of power on your laptop, and just in any case, if it uses too much power, Maya will shut down and close on you. So you always want to save. So let's render. Let's make sure we have our background light, which is Sky Dome, and let's render. There you go. You have your wine bottle and your tag. That looks exactly like the image. Now let's make this a little bit more old-fashioned. And let's actually edit and make it a tiny bit old-looking by having some rough edges. Let's just move. And since we have the bottom and top, let's make the sides as well. And how we do the sides is just add a bit more lines. And how we do that, same thing. Insert edge loop. Hold and let go. Hold and let go. Hold and let go. Let's make it a little irregular. Hold and let go. There you go. Go back to your mouse. Fast way is V. Go back to your vertex. And let's... Now, since these arrows are very strict, these are following the world axis. And what I mean by that is it uses this current world and uses a grid as its references, as its axes. So there's your x-axis, y-axis, and your z going up and down. And that's how it follows. You see left, right, goes left, it goes here, and it goes up. Now how you edit this, if you want to specifically edit it, you can always press D and actually change the way your axis behaves. But instead of doing that, another way is actually having more options. Go to your move tool and double click. This will show you all of your options in your move tool. We'll get to these later, but for now, your axis orientation is your object. So it follows this object line as its reference. Instead, let's go to component. Component means it follows this specific point. So as you can see, this blue arrow is actually following this line. The red is following its own component, going back and forth. And this green arrow is following this line. So once you're done with editing this, press D and make it go back. And this will apply to every setting. There you go. Let's see how that looks. There you go. It gives it a bit more character. Stop this. And there you go. This is how you use your UV sets.